Hello everyone and welcome back to a new tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how you set up Livesplit and especially the Autosplitter and the variable viewer, which will allow you to see certain variables inside the game for Metal Gear Solid on PC and for the emulators. So let's get started and have fun. We will begin with looking at Livesplit, installing that. Then we will install the so-called ASL Var Viewer plugin. After that, we go to the more specifics of Metal Gear Solid 1. We're going to install the BMN Livesplit ASL or Autosplitter 2.0 version, which works for Metal Gear Solid for PlayStation, be it the Japanese, the US or the EU release, Metal Gear Solid Integral, the PlayStation version for Japanese, the PC version, the VR disc for PC, the VR disc for PlayStation Japanese, and of course also the VR missions and special missions in regards to US and EU release. Basically, all the versions that we have that can be emulated or that can be played on PC. For the emulators that are supported, we have BizHawk, DuckStation, EPSXE, Mednafen, and RetroArch with the Beetle PSX core. For this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make it work with DuckStation and not so with the PC version. And of course, especially if you want to play a PC version, just as a side note, I'll also quickly go over the settings here for the BMN launcher that has been made from our community member, BMN. Thank you so much for that as well. All the sources, of course, will be linked in the description down below. And especially, of course, since tutorials are not really timeless, for the latest news and, of course, information in regards to playing Metal Gear Solid 1 as a speedrun, join the MetalGearSpeedrunners.com website and, of course, the Discord community. Links to all of these are, of course, in the video description down below. Let's get started. Alright, let's first start with Livesplit. Here, the latest release, as you can see by this tag, is the version 1.8.16. Let's download that and install that. I'm just going to use this zip file which we have here. Gonna open it up and then make a new folder here on my desktop. You can put this anywhere you want. You can put this in your programs. So all the contents of this zip file, I'm just going to put in this Livesplit folder here. And that basically has it installed now. What I recommend is that having Livesplit run in admin mode. For that, simply right click the program here, the .exe file, go to properties and go to the compatibility tab. Simply here, go to run this program as an administrator, check it, and then apply and OK. Now, each time when you launch livesplit.exe, it will ask for your permission. So have, of course, administration rights on your machine. Let's start up Livesplit. The very first time you launch Livesplit, it will look like this. It's basically not much going on. It's literally just the timer here. If you right click it, you can edit splits. You have control to start and stop timers. You can also change the layout. What I'm going to show you is how you can start basically from scratch, how to import Livesplits, and of course make your own splits and your own layout. But before we go here, I'm going to close this program again, because Livesplit is not fully installed yet. What we also want to have, especially for Metal Gear Solid 1, is again the ASL Var Viewer. So I'm just going to download the latest version here from February of 2016. Yes, it is that old. I'm just going to download the .zip file. I'm just going to open that quickly. And then we have this Livesplit ASL Var Viewer .ui.dll. We can put this into the components as a plugin basically, and that will have it installed the next time we launch this. And while we're also here, another thing that we need to prepare, we're going to download the Autosplitter here, Livesplit ASL MGS 1. Go here under releases, and then with the 2.0 version, then we can download this source code. So this folder is a little bit bigger. I'm going to put it here to the side on the desktop, and I'm going to go through this here with you together. So I put the folder here on the desktop, but you can see inside there is not really much in here. It's really only MetalGearSolid.asl file. This is the file that will have all the settings that you need in order to put up with the things that we want to have later for creating a split file and also for helping us do more with the layout. So while Livesplit is here in its own file, I'm going to leave the ASL file here as is. We can now close this Livesplit ASL MGS1 folder and just start now livesplit.exe. After we confirm, we have this little window here in the center of the screen. I'm going to put this here to the side. What we want to do is first, we want to go to edit layout. See that we have a timer here. And what we want to do is we want to add also one more thing. and that is under the information in the ASL Var Viewer. I'm going to quickly show that first. Cannot connect to Autosplit engine, yes, that's correct. So, and additionally, I also want to give ourselves the control and then scriptable Autosplitter component here. Just inside that here. After all of these is in here, we go to layout settings and go over to scriptable Autosplitter. Now the file that we downloaded from community member. So as we're on this file here, as you can see, desktop, Livesplit, ASL, MGS. Just double click this one here and then it's automatically loaded in here. And also, as we can see, as the script loads in, it populated all the other options here as well. So this scriptable Autosplitter will start, split, and reset for us if you check all of these boxes, which I would suggest to leave you here. And also it can do a lot of other things, including FPS counter, showing stats, alerts, continuous, kills, rations, saves, and even more. Especially these alerts, continuous, and so on. Those can be routed again from the ASL Var Viewer, which you can put here. As it says here, value, please load ASL script or start the game. All of this here, read is dependent on the game. So we need to have the game running in the background, which I'll boot up just in a second. But further explaining, besides all of these settings that we have here, we also have the split points as part of this Autosplitter. With 2.0, it's very simple actually. It is even marked for which category in Metal Gear Solid 1 we have these splits. So for example, parts that are only in the all bosses category are all linked here in this segment. And if you don't play all bosses, you can basically ignore that and untap that and just go with the any % splits. And after the disk 2, everything merges together again for 1. Of course, there's also more splits. The C-AB, for example, means that this is the console all bosses split. Because on console, we play a little bit different than the PC version. For example, in the console any %, we actually go up to the tower, go in the door before the hind fight, and then go down again. Something we completely skip on the PC version if we do any %. It's much shorter in that regard, in terms of rooms that we visit. The cool thing is now, after all that is here, sign up, you don't need to do anything really. We can literally just go back to the beginning and even click all bosses and leave this active here and close this. Split timing modifiers will is nothing you want to touch unless specifically requested. Just leave it here on standard. So that's all you want to do. And then with this Autosplitter script also, we can create split files, which is very, very practical. The problem is, again here, as it says here, as I have the cursor open, you must have the game or emulator open to launch the toolbox. So before I actually click here and want to set up the rest, in order to have, of course, Livesplit being able to show me everything, I need to launch the game. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to put this here to the side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to launch DuckStation here and wait for the game to be here. All right, so I launched the disk here for Metal Gear Solid 1 in DuckStation, which is the console emulator. We recently worked out the latest settings for DuckStation, and it's basically the go-to emulator with the most precise, of course, settings that we have found so far. So as the intro starts, we're going straight to the main menu and also start the run. So I'm just going to start the game, new game, no problem here. We just go to very easy, or let's go to easy. That's the standard setting, the one where usually people start. This is the first one that actually has an in-game timer. And as you already noticed on screen, actually, the time is running. I didn't put anything in there. There's no split file loaded, literally only the script file, basically the Autosplitter, is in the layout. And that already makes it work. So this tool, this component says, okay, we start split as soon as we notice that the game starts. So what I can do now is I can also reset the console, put it back here, and hopefully as soon as we get back to the main menu, the timer should stop. Okay, I guess it's not fully working like that on the console version, but on the PC version, if you were to reset there on a continue, for example, it will go automatically and stop. Let's just go here and go right click, control, and then reset, and then we're back to 0. And then again, it works. So we have now the game loaded and everything. What we want to do is, of course, we want to add more viewers and also create a split file. So if you're brand new to the game and everything, I really recommend doing this. You just open the layout settings here and tick the box now that the game's open. And then, ooh, there's this new box here in the bottom. So the Magic Solid Autosplitter toolbox really is a very nice thing. It helps you to get the settings template, have you build split files, and also shows you the Autosplitter data directory where more settings can be found. So let's quickly go here over the settings. In the settings that you can pick here is basically what kind of split file you want to have. Do you only want to have the major splits, for example, after each boss fight for the all bosses? Or do you want to have a split before each boss? So you have a section where you walk to the boss, that's the first segment, then you have the actual boss fight, and then after the boss fight you have another segment where you have split it until the next boss fight starts. So you can have the way to the bosses, and the bosses itself basically as a timer. And of course, as you want to have it also, it is possible to have major splits, other splits, basically most of the rooms here. There's also enable all available splits, which is very precise. And of course, if you were manually to autosplit forward, this would be a lot of things to do, but thankfully with Autosplitter, it doesn't matter because the Autosplitter does do the job, reading out the game files internally and reading from memory in which room you are, and then automatically splits forward for you. I'm going right now with enable all available splits, and then it will be saved to the app data, just fine. And then I'm going to build the split files for the current settings. And in this window, it continues on. So what we can do is we can have additional files for the very easy difficulty, which I want to do right now. Just want to show you everything. Very easy is a bit different from easy, normal, hard, and extreme. In it, that very easy is timed in RTA, basically from the start of the game until the very end of the game where you are in the chase and the countdown stops. That's when you stop the timer for very easy. The easy, normal, and hard difficulty, and of course also extreme, are all timed by in-game time, not in RTA. So the splitter can help you track, of course, how you're doing during the run with the segments, but the time that will actually count will be the in-game time, and that's where also the Autosplitter will then stop the timer. I'm also going to show you how to do subsplits here, because that's a thing that not many people know how it works. It is very practical, of course, if you want to see that. So we're going to check that as well. And now we're going over here and selecting all the things we want to see. And actually, I want to have every tiny split in there. As you can see, you can click everything and it will automatically be put over here. And the coolest thing really is, based on the things that we select here, all the other categories will be exported as well, and then will be made available. So I'm just going to click everything and be right back. Alright, I checked all the checkboxes here on the side. They're all selected sections that we want to use in our split files, and then I'm going to save them to the folder. You can then put in the splits here wherever you want. I'm going to put them here into desktop and just put them right where the Autosplitter script file is as well. So it is Livesplit ASL MGS 2.00. Just going to put here OK, and then it all will automatically be put in. Do you want to open this directory? Yes, for right now will, because I want to check it out how it looks. And here we are. This has all been generated from this ASL file. So we have Magic Solid PC split files and also console split files. We have versions for the all bosses category and versions for the 80% category for both PC and console. And interesting enough, also PC glitchless. Whoever wants to run that, I guess. And the cool thing is, again, of course, also we have subsplits with very easy plus subsplits, very easy, the main category, and the standard console 80%. Because we checked, of course, the box that we want to have very easy. And also for all bosses and all the other categories. So I'm going to try out console 80% with subsplits. So I'm going to use this file and load that quickly into, of course, Livesplit itself. So all of these files have been generated here, and we can close this window. You can close this toolbox. You can go here, OK, and OK here. So we only have Livesplit. Then we right click that, and then we want to open the splits from file. And then we have the exact same folder here as before. And I'm going to open console 80% subsplits. Splits have been updated, not yet saved. Do you want to save the splits? No, we don't want that right now, because this would be a brand new splits file, which has no really named splits. I can actually cancel that and show it to you quickly. Edit splits is literally an empty file, nothing in there, only one segment. Because the Autosplitter started here and reset it, it thinks it has data, but we don't want to work with that. So again, I'm just going to open the split file. Gonna select console any percent with subsplits. And then this time I say, yes, I want to, no, I don't want to save this one. I want to literally only open the new one. And well, what do you see? Nothing has changed. And that is very simple because we don't display all of these splits. But if you go and right click here and then edit splits, we can see, aha, a lot more information here. So we have the game, Metal Gear Solid. We even have the run category, console any percent here. And we also know when the timer starts. The game starts literally when we select the difficulty, and the Autosplitter will also go in and start the timer right away. You want to make sure to not have any other Autosplitter active here. Livesplit can download the Autosplitter file for you, but I personally like to have it manually here by my own work. So that's why there's nothing else you need to do. It needs to be not activated. And then you can see here the real-time splits have names, the game time splits have names, and also there's a very lengthy list. There's also squiggly lines with escape, and those will actually be the names for the subsplit categories. One quick addendum also in the meantime, if we have these split files, I'm going to open the one for example, PC all bosses subsplits, right? We have in this layout here the subsplits and timer. What I recommend usually also is using in timer the detailed timer instead of the timer, because the detailed timer will also show you the time per segment. So you know, while the complete time in the top is running, you also know how long you are spending in each segment. This will help you a lot in Metal Gear Solid later when we need to wait 61 seconds in order for the PAL key to change in the route. So really recommend this detailed timer instead of the regular timer. And because we have subsplits here, you want to actually, and if we have the subsplits here, you want to rename your split files. So go to edit splits. And then in the split files here, what also works is if you want to have segments and have them summarized, you can go here and just add a minus in front of a split. Just gonna add that for a few. And then you see each split I add the minus in front of will be part of a larger split. So say for example, we want to have the guard encounter as the first big segment and everything else is just the way towards that guard encounter. We can start the timer and we'll start here for the segment of Doc, and it will also be named Doc, so you know in the recording here how much time you spent there. But the overall focus will tell you you are on your way to the guard encounter. This is how usually subsplits work. Right, so this is for example how my own split file looks like. I have actually segments here for each of the bigger segments. So Doc, Heliport, Tank Hangar are one subsegment. Cell is its own with cell, torture, and leaving the cell again. Then we have the underground passage where we have the armory visit and so on. And then we also have the disc one where we go up the tower, go down the tower, go into tower B and skip, Wolf 2 and then end on disc 1. Right, so there's a lot of stuff that you can summarize here. And if you scroll down, you continue. And in the end, if we're just at the very end of the run, you see also, looking back, how much time you spent at the bigger segments instead of just the smaller segments. For example, I have taken from the blast furnace back to inserting the hot PAL key around 3 minutes. And then I moved on much quicker. So you can see, basically, if I go back here into hot PAL key, you can see the individual time for each room that we visited. But at the end of the run, you only want to see how much time you lost in the bigger segments. And that's why subsplits are really cool. And this is how you can enable them. Again, you need in the layout, the edit. Again, you need in your segment names the minus in front of that. And then the ones that does not have a minus will be the name for the big segment. And you need in your layout, not the splits, but the subsplits. Go into the list here and use subsplits, not splits. And that's all there is you need to know. Yeah, so this is all the names that we have. And usually when we start a run, we have segments that will automatically go over to the higher categories. Let's see how it looks again when we start run. I'm going to close this folder here. We don't need it right now. We have loaded the split file. And again, you can change it to any other split file if you want later. The editor for the layout here can always stay the same. No matter which category you run, if you do console or PC, any percent or all bosses, the setting here in the Autosplitter will always be the same. Let's close that. And now I'm going to show you easy. And you can see, yep, here's the timer starting. And also we can see that Doc is now an active split here. I'm going to show you the next segment where actually something happens, and then shall we how this game continues. Right, and here we are. We're now getting ready. We're going to knock to distract the guard quickly. An easy trick you can pick up immediately. And then once we get past this elevator section, we should have automatically this far continue on to the heliport split. I won't press anything else. And there we go. It already split. So I'm just going to hold here and going to continue. Currently, I'm using Turbo to go through these codecs because it's much easier for this tutorial. But apparently, we're also voting for using and allowing Turbo for consoles and emulators. So this may be a regular thing anyway. And one last codec that we need to wait for. And there we go. So I'm going to show you one more time when we continue on to the tank hangar. Did not get caught here. I'm usually playing on PC, so console version is much fun here as well. And there you go. We just continue on and automatically, also from heliport to tank hangar. There we go. It splits automatically for you. And this is such a relief, especially for console players that had to do this all on their own, really. So being able to use this here with an Autosplitter for the emulators for console, as well as, of course, for the PC version, is a great relief. And that's why I'm showing this to you. But let's move on. How can we show more game data? Like, for example, the oxygen meter or the life bar of enemies or bosses when we fight them. This is very simple. I'm just going to pause the game here quickly and then go over to Livesplit, go again for edit layout, and then we go to ASL Var Viewer finally. Let's go to the layout settings, and now we have actually a few options here because there's no problem anymore. And what I can show you is the current state, for example, of things. Just go here down to the drop-down menu and we can see directly in the RAM, basically, of the game. Whether the PC version is or the console version, we can read out the numbers here. So we have the alert count, with the kill count, the rations used, continuous, saves, even the game time we can read out directly from the RAM. That is the internal game time, or IGT. We even can read out the difficulty, the progress, and the location that we have. What most people want to do, especially in Medical Assault 1, is read out the alerts. And as we can see here, this already is on 2. So I'm going to continue now and show you also that this automatically increases again because we read out the RAM from memory. And we can add this, of course, with so many other things as well. Especially if you want to, for example, play on Extreme and want to go for the big boss rank, you have to make sure you don't have more than 4 alerts. 4 is the maximum of alerts you can get on big boss in order to still get the rank. So I'm just gonna get a willingly alert here, which is tricky or easy, and there we go. It increased currently to 3. We did it. Fantastic. So I'm just gonna die here quickly, and then I'm gonna show you the rest of it. So while the whole game is still running, really, we can go in and edit layout and add even more of these ASL Var Viewers. Put them a lot of them here. So I'm just going to go here, information again, ASL Var Viewer, and add a few more. And then at the end, I'll add one extra. So I'm going to put, I'm going to actually put the Autosplitter here. So we have all of them underneath each other. The first one, we will actually give a name now. You can give also these a label here so you know what it actually means. So we give this the label of alerts. Move on to the next one and call this one kills. And for current state, we select, of course, the kill count. Then we're going to move on, use rations, because you also cannot use any rations for big boss in Extreme, if I remember correctly. So you can see that. And also we can show ourselves the amount of continues. And that's why I wanted to take this continue to show that this is also automatically counting up. Lastly, we're not going to put anything into this value label here because we're going over to variables. And there we're going to use stats. And stats is a fantastic thing if you want to see a summary here. And there's also another thing, info. And info will make this go blank. But it has a whole purpose here. So I'm going to show you quickly how the purpose looks like. In the same game, we're going to continue here. And as we can see now, we have 3 alerts, 2 kills, and 1 continue. And I'm going to move on now quickly. Actually play the game a little bit longer. And show you how it looks like when you actually have a boss fight happening. So I'm just going to quickly go down here. And already you can see when I threw the chaff exploded on the bottom. The chaff time, how long it is active, is also shown on screen, including the seconds here. All right, so because I have loaded the split file for any percent, not for all bosses, which I'm going to use right now to demonstrate how it also shows you the boss health, even inside an emulator, please ignore the split file names. So maybe you're gonna put something over there in the editing software. But hey, it changes on every room that we accepted here. The split, so that's cool. Auto splits on that. Just gonna quickly show you now how it looks like when we fight Ocelot. So again, look at the screen in the bottom of Livesplit. We will see now the boss health show up as soon as we start this fight. So as we can see now on screen, we can see how much health is left here for Ocelot. And we can continue the fight. And he's dead. Right, so each time we hit, we can see how much damage it did, how much life he has left, and of course also how quickly he's done for. This can be very useful later down the road if you have more complex bosses, for example, if you want to fight Mantis, or for example also the ninja, you know in which phase he will be as soon as you hit him the next time, stuff like that. It's very useful. As we can see, the whole time, of course, as ASL Var Viewer actually tracked our progress here, the amount of alerts we have, the amount of kills, rations we use, and of course also the continues we have. So that works already like a charm. We're back in the main menu. On the PC version again, it would actually reset your run as well here. So we need to go here, control and reset. That's fine though. And yeah, if you want to, we can update our times to the splits, but since I was running actually a different category from the Splitfile, I will not save them. And as soon as we start again a new run, these numbers will also reset. So don't worry about that. If they're still staying here on screen, these will be reset as soon as you start a new run. All right, so you know how you add the Autosplitter, you know how to add the ASL Var Viewer settings. Again, it's all in the layout here. And even if you decide to do a different run, so we have just loaded the console any percent run, we can also change it over to the, for example, console all bosses. Subsplits, for example, here. We do not want to save the changes right now. The layout stays the same. You don't need to change that. The layout is actually a different file. I would recommend you to save the layout in the same folder here, just for MGS. Just layout, whatever. So you have that available, and all these settings, all the things you put up here with the extra variable viewer and data will stay here, but this is all you need really. One layout, multiple splits files, and then you can run any version of the game you want. So you see, as soon as I start a new game and a new category, let's go for hardest time. Sadly, this release does not automatically unlock the extreme version, which is fine. You can see again, everything gets reset to 0. And also again, of course, now, as we've loaded in here, the elevator time will also be shown, which is very practical in order to decide, for example, do you have enough time in order to get more alerts? Because part of this run, for people that don't know, you want to get as many alerts as possible. And as you can see here in the beginning, we kill this guard actually and get away. So we already have one alert and one kill here, and then we're gonna get away here. And the elevator time still clocks down. These alerts don't delay because as long as the credits roll here, the elevator does not go away. As we show here, so knock again, there we go. The alert continues. And that's how it is really. That's all you need to know here about the console emulator version for DuckStation. And here's the thing, I'm gonna switch over now to the PC version. So I'm gonna quickly here, control and reset. Gonna close DuckStation, and again, gonna open GOG right now. There's two versions of Metal Gear Solid on PC. The one you can get from Reddit with Reddit patch, if you have the disc version, for example. And also if you don't have it. And you can also get on Good Old Games or GOG, the version that we have here. I'm gonna play this time because this is in window mode. So if you buy that there for 10 or everything, you can use this. And this is the launcher. This is the fourth tab that I have shown at the beginning of the video. This is this launcher you get from this website. I know it looks a bit jank, but trust me, this is from a community member. This is official. You can use this, and I really recommend using this because this also offers a few features if you want to play the PC version of Metal Gear Solid. So download that and then open it. And installation is really like you literally extract the zip files into your MGS install directory and then open the launcher.exe. I would recommend to make a, of course, desktop link here as we've seen, and then you're good to go. And then you will open this menu. Right, so what do you want to set up here really? I have actually went into the game and set this graphic settings to software mode, which is faster than hardware mode. That means the game will not be rendered on your GPU, but on your CPU. And then, especially for GOG, you can play this game in windowed mode. And if you go here, you can literally set settings like this, for example, which is a custom-made resolution I made in the NVIDIA control panel, which is 1440 x 1080, which will fill in the full 1080 screen that I have here and keeps also the 4:3 resolution. And then the rest will literally be the same as long as you have this down to windowed. On the left side, you want to set the process. On the Metal Gear Solid Wiki, there's a list of CPUs and the amount of cores you want to give this game. Usually, this game would only run on one core. And especially for speedrunning, if you want to skip multiple cutscenes after another, the PC version will crash. In order to get help for that, we can set in this practical tool the amount of cores the game can actually use, which is something we would need to do in the task manager every time we start the game. Thanks to this tool, we can set it once and can save those settings here. We don't need to touch that again anymore. And also what we have here is a very practical save game manager. So you can see we have all those different saves for the PC version and also for different categories. We have ones where we have a low alert count. For example, if you want to practice going through extreme and big boss ring, but also we have high alert count, which we want to have later for a PAL RNG manipulation. We also have saves for the alternate round. We have saves for any percent really, and also miscellaneous. For example, if you want to do the alternate round version, which is also a category which I happen to have had the world record at some point in time until it was snuck away again. You can also have different save profiles. For example, if you want to do all the rec spikes in all the different variations, you can do that. You can have also any percent saves here, so you can switch between them depending on what you want to practice that day. For example, I've made a profile here for alternate rounds, so I always have this save for the alternate round access here, plus some extra stuff I want to practice. Just go here, save and apply. You can close that. And then here in the save profile and settings backup, you can go here and select that, click backup, resource settings on launch, and you're good to go. There's one more thing that Launcher can do for you really, and that is actually fixing the music. Click down here. This music patch installer will actually install the better versions of the soundtrack. So you can back up the original soundtrack, you can download it here, you can unpack that and then patch that. Just go down each step and it will tell you when it's done. Already have done the patching part here, so I'm good to go, but this is where you find it in this little icon in the corner. There's also more info about the launcher itself, which is the latest version as we can see here for March 21st. And also we can show the data folder where this is located, and we can also find the game data folder. From this menu, we can also, of course, launch the main game or the VR game if you want to. And this also offers you to create game shortcuts right on the desktop. So, without changing anything here in Livesplit, well, maybe I want to open the dedicated split file for PC and then say all bosses subsplit. But if I've changed nothing in the setting here for the layout is still the same, right? Only change the split file here on PC. I'm going to launch the PC version now and play it. And unfortunately, the Livesplit is a little bit in the way here, but we're just going to deal with that. And then I'm going to launch a new game. And we go into here. And as you can see, it automatically starts continuing the time. It shows automatically the variables that we have here. And it also shows us the rest. Like for example, alerts, kills, and of course, if we have a continue. Alright, so I guess if you switch between console and between the PC version of Metal Gear Solid, you need to quickly reload Livesplit, just close it and start it again. And now it should work. I guess this is a minor issue that I just found because people usually play either or in a given time, and I basically just switch back and forth here. So let's try it again. I did not change anything. I really just restarted Livesplit. I did not change anything in the layout. And here we are. We can see now the alerts and kills are tracking, including the info. So it is actually the same location in the RAM. And now we can get away here and start playing the game. And again, if you continue on, it also will autosplit. And of course, for you, I will quickly track that. Alright, so here's the PC version. I'm just going to go here, not quickly. and distract the guard. Like, even if you're that late, you can distract the guard and get away without an alert. And as soon as we go on over, we should see the splitter continue on to heliport split. There we go. Thankfully on PC we can skip the entire cutscene length here, so we can just go on. And yeah, that's basically it. That's how this works. Another cool thing is on PC we have hotkeys for our weapons, so we don't need to menu here at all. And I forgot that actually the dude is very, very aggressive and extreme. Oh well, anyway, so as you can see it works. It will also track or continue here. If we just continue quickly, you can see that there will be continue on now. And on PC version again, it should work. If I go to main menu here, it resets the timer automatically. So that's one advantage I guess the PC version has over the console version right now as is. Maybe it will come in another update for the Autosplitter. But that is basically all you need to know. I know it was a long video, but this is all the things you need to do if you want to do the Autosplitter with Livesplit and including the ASL Var Viewer with the PC version or the console version when you run it through an emulator. An example with DuckStation. Hope you like it. If you want more tutorials, of course, let me know what you need to know. And other than that, I say thank you for watching. And of course, join again MetaGearSpeedrunners.com and our Discord community, where we can also give you further guidance if you have problems or if you want to ask questions about the game, about the run, and about the categories and stuff, so on. Of course, you can also learn all the other games from the Medical Saga there as well. My name is Haustus here. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a nice day. See you soon, big boss.